Thank you very much. Can you hear me? Yes. Okay. First, I would like to thank the organizers for inviting me to give this presentation and to share with all of you the experience that I had with the participation in STREAM projects and in the results that we achieved. I'm happy also to be able to attend this event, despite my flight was cancelled yesterday due to the snow in Brussels. But luckily I'm here, and I can now start my presentation. So, as was previously introduced, I'm giving you a presentation of the roadmap that is the result of 3 projects that have been funded by the European Commission under the 7th Framework Programme that was explained just a moment before. These 3 projects are STREAM Stepwise and Water This 2.0. And then I will give you some information about the roadmap that we produced. The SPI-Water Cluster is the cluster that was created at the beginning of the 3 projects, at the starting, during the starting of these 3 projects. Due to a request of our project officer in the European Commission, since we had similar objectives, these 3 projects had similar objectives, so we were requested to create a cluster called the SPI-Water Cluster, and we started our activities all together. We started the implementation of the 3 projects in a similar way. To achieve the similar objectives that we had. I'm representing STREAM, and then there is a Stepwise and Water This. STREAM and Stepwise recently ended last December, whilst Water This is continuing for another year. We had the common objective of disseminating and uptaking the research result in the water area, with tangible impact on economic growth and social welfare. So our 3 projects has the main objective to facilitate the access and support the uptake of research results. So we were supporting actions before you were explained by Daniel, the next call for proposals that are mainly dealing with collaborative projects. These 3 projects were supporting actions, so we're aiming at support other research projects. And the second objective of these projects were to promote the use of research results. So the research results that were achieved by the other research projects had to be promoted. So our projects were really aiming at promoting these research results at national, European, and international level. What was the methodology that we adopted? So first, we had to identify the projects and their results that were available at European level, and the results had to have a high European value so that they could really be uptaken by the stakeholders. And then we had identified also the research priorities and the policy gaps. And after doing that, we decided to disseminate the research result through a series of innovative media channels at national, European, and regional levels towards a diversified number of stakeholders, so including policymakers, researchers, and industry, in a way that the uptake could be really reached. In particularly concerning the STREAM project, whose motto is water research meets policy and industry, we set up a series of communication and dissemination activities. In particular, we created a technology and policy watch. So these are like 2 bodies, one in charge of analyzing all the research projects that could really provide with results, and the other one analyzing all the policies that were ongoing at European level. These two bodies produced fact sheets that were then disseminated throughout Europe in the different activities that we organized. These fact sheets are still available online for everybody to download. And the fact sheets were really short summaries of the project's development and their results. In order to disseminate these fact sheets, we organized training activities, in particular summer schools and e-learning, and then policy seminars in different parts in Europe. In addition, we created support communication materials like audiovisual materials with interviews, webinars, and films. And then we set up a platform, an online platform, where newsletters, social media, and other material was accessible. What are the lessons that we learned through this 2 years initiative? So we understood that to communicate the research results, we absolutely need an integrated approach. We need different sorts of communication material. We have to prepare a communication strategy that is dedicated and adapted to the different stakeholders. And the tools and the actions that have to be prepared are really customized to the type of stakeholders. In addition to that, it's a must the adoption of the scientific content and the transformation of it in a more accessible language. It's useless to have huge scientific reports and try to bring them to the public whether these are not translated in a simple language for the general audience. And another important aspect is the fact of creating synergies between different groups of stakeholders. All these aspects that I'm telling you now could be actually useful either for the preparation of a future proposal, as you were just now had the presentation of Daniel, but also for your ongoing project, because these are just experiences that we face, and I think that it's good that you see other projects, what did other projects, so that it's easier to disseminate and to take these examples. The stepwise project that was coordinated by Hydroscan, by Guido Weiss from Hydroscan in Leuven in Belgium, set up a platform that is WISE-RTD. It's called the WISE-RTD, where the science, technology, and policy aspects are brought together and facilitate an exchange between these different actors, between policymakers, scientists, and industries. And WISE-RTD acts like a switchboard in order to share information between from water research among policies and shared experiences. The lessons that Stepwise Consortium learned are very similar to the stream ones. And in particular, they understood that there is a huge need to translate the information from research to policymakers and to industries. There is a need to address different types of stakeholders and to address them in their own language. If you address policymakers, you have to prepare policy briefs or a material that is easily understood by them and taking into consideration their interests. WISE-RTD as a platform is aimed at acting with this role as an intermediary. But in the future, of course, each project should have a position in that, because otherwise it's useless. So far, WISE-RTD collected information about all European ongoing and past European projects, all ongoing EU policies, and also the US water policies, but we need to continue and to make these activities be continuing also in the future projects. WaterDis is the third project that is part of the SPI-Water Cluster. And here as well, they set up a way to facilitate the interaction between these three stakeholders. In particular, they outlined the importance of individual dissemination strategies. So each project should prepare a dissemination strategy at the beginning of its implementation that is focused on the research outputs. WaterDis created also a European water community, which is a communication platform that is dedicated to both researchers and practitioners. More or less, the platform has now about 500 members and is continuously growing. So it attracts a lot of stakeholders from different backgrounds. And it's a way to facilitate the exchange of information, discussions, storage of material and documentation as well, and then facilitate the access and the operability of this information. The SPI-Water Cluster, after these 2 years activities of stream and stepwise and with the ongoing WaterDis year, gathered and realized and produced the roadmap. The roadmap is a document. It's actually, I have a copy here, but you can also download it online. It's a document that we created at the end of the project to give recommendations to other projects in order to create synergies and to work on a similar way for the future to improve the accessibility of research results. The roadmap focused on three main thematics. First of all, to increase the communication efforts of European research projects, to improve the accessibility to water research results in a way to speed up their transfer, and then to strengthen the water science, policy, and industry interface, because this is really the aim of creating discussions and debates among science, policy, and industry. The structure of the roadmap is focused on is starting from the major challenges that all projects have to face in order to uptake the research results. And then it's based on the assessment of the three projects during these years of activity, the inputs collected during the final conference organized last December in Brussels, and then further recommendations that could be distributed to all the other projects. The major challenges that we realize that every project has to face is the fact that there are hundreds of projects that have been funded so far by the European Commission, but it's very difficult to understand what are the outputs of all these projects. The information is a lot, but then where to get this information, where to find it, how to get the information that you really know, the outputs that you really need out of that. Another challenge is that all these projects have to organize, of course, their dissemination activities, which consist mainly in organizing conferences. But at the end, at the conferences, there are mainly always the same people that attend. Projects focuses on quantity criteria. That means how many people attended more than who really attended. So what were the good inputs that we got from the high-level people or the very interesting people that were in the conference. Then all these projects have, each of them has a website, but after the end of the project, the website, of course, is dead, nobody is taking care of the update anymore. Those projects produce a lot of reports, large and complex reports, and nobody has access to them. There is very little follow-up. And then this approach among science, policy, and industry is often a lack, is often missing during the project's implementation. So this is the challenge that we wanted to focus on. So what the three projects together did in these 2 years was, first of all, to identify all the projects that were ongoing and available to collaborate. And we managed to get in contact with 439 projects, and we collected 130 fact sheets. So these were the projects mainly ongoing that wanted to collaborate and to make the results available for future use and uptake. We set up specific communication activities in order to facilitate the transfer of these results, such as e-learning, summer schools, policy seminars, videos, fact sheets, etc. The WISE RTD portal facilitated those exchanges among the three stakeholders, and in particular the collection of policies, policy guidelines, research projects, fact sheets, guidance document that are all collected in one unique portal, and it acts as a gateway to reach the results of other research projects. So this is a very useful tool. The WaterDis individual dissemination strategies has also helped a lot many research projects who did not foresee in a single dissemination strategy, so that was implemented. And then also the European water community facilitate this exchange of information among the stakeholders. During the final conference of Stream Stepwise, as I said, that took place in December, we asked the participants, it was a very lively conference in the sense that we had some presentations, but then we had workshop, work activities with all the participants. So everybody had the opportunity to bring on the table some ideas and to share their views in terms of communicating and disseminating the research results. So we collected inputs from the stakeholders, and we analyzed those inputs, and we inserted those inputs in the final recommendations of the roadmap. And one important aspect is that emerged in the conference is that the communication activities have to focus on stakeholders, but especially on the identification of those right stakeholders to be addressed, on the messages that have to be prepared to address those stakeholders, on their involvement all along the phases of the project, so from the beginning to the end. And also face-to-face contacts are still important. Okay, we have a lot of new media communication tools and channels that are used, but still face-to-face contacts is a key. So new and traditional media. Flexibility is also an aspect that appears to be quite important, because the communication strategy that one project might prepare at the very beginning of the project needs to be revised during the implementation of the project, might need a revision, might need an adaptation to reach better the stakeholders. So everything that is planned might need to be a revision. It's crucial to set up synergies among projects. We experience that ourselves between Stream, Stepwise, and WaterDis, but it's really something that facilitates the transfer. The transfer should be not only of results, research results, but also the benefits. So the researchers should should make this effort in understanding already, maybe with the help of, as we said, dissemination professionals or knowledge brokers, translators, facilitators, but they should understand directly and present directly what could be the benefits of those research results for the specific stakeholders. In this way, it will be easier for them to understand what are the elements that can be taken. There is the need of one unique web-based repository. Each project has its own website, but then the information should be converted in one unique platform that facilitates the accessibility of this information. We discuss a lot about the scientific journals incentive that researchers receive. What about also dissemination incentive, because researchers might usually don't have the time to care about the dissemination, but if they see the benefits and if they see something back, then there might be more push to disseminate. And then there is something that still doesn't have an answer, and probably it's something that will be discussed also during the Horizon 2020 program, how to make sure that projects have adequate fundings for the post-project dissemination when the project is ended and when the results are really achieved. These are some of the images of the final conference that we organized in Brussels, and the conference was 2 days conference. The first day in a location in Brussels, the second day in the European Parliament, where the roadmap was also presented, and it was hosted by Cristina Gutierrez Cortines. So we had also the Spanish representation in the final conference, and there were also some partners I can recognize among some of the pictures. Ángeles Blanco representing Aqua Fit for Use project from Universidad Complutense de Madrid, and Daniele Sempere from Imprints project from the Politecnica Universidad de Catalunya. So we had many Spanish as well. And the third section of the roadmap consisted in summarizing everything and putting up some recommendations. And at the end, what we listed here is really the importance of preparing fact sheets in every project. So we should prepare fact sheets in a layman English so that everybody can understand. There is a need to have professional communication strategies that adopt both standard communication channels that can be the same among the different projects, but also tailor dissemination activities and tools to be adopted by projects in order to reach the specific stakeholders. There is the need to translate the research results in a more common language. And there is a need to prepare policy briefs in order to address specific policy makers and decision makers. And the importance of the science policy industry dialogue is really crucial. There are already activities at European level in Brussels taking place every year, like the Water Science Meets Policy and Industry event. But there is a need to bring these kind of initiatives also at regional, national, regional, and local level, because it's only with the discussion among the stakeholders about these topics that the uptake of research results can really be achieved. And this is just the end of my presentation with the 3 coordinators in a fair that we attended last March at the World Water Forum in Marseille. Here you can find all the website addresses where you can find more information about the 3 projects and the roadmap. And these are all the partners from Stream, Stepwise, and WaterDis, so we collaborated all together. And you can download the roadmap from the Stream website and the SPI-Water Cluster website as well. And that's all. I would like to thank you very much for your attention.